Finally, tomorrow night, no more slinging political mud from half a country away. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton on the same stage at the same time in the first of their 3 debates, and the stakes do feel sky high, don't they? Let's talk about it with 2 political consultants who've been with us before. Jill Alper back with us from Dewey Square Group, and Dennis Darnoi from Rev 6 Data Systems. Let's start with, is it fair to say that they both have an equal amount of pressure on them, or Dennis, does one of them have more pressure than the other candidate?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton has more pressure than Donald Trump. I mean, the bar is set very low to determine what's a successful night for Donald Trump. So without a doubt, Hillary Clinton has the most pressure tomorrow night.
Jill, and you're nodding your head in agreement.
Totally agree. I think that she has debated many times over the years. People have seen her in the public forum. They have a higher level of expectation for how she'll perform.
She has apparently been preparing for this with, I guess, what's been called a cast of Donald Trumps. She's got to figure out which Donald Trump she's going to see. Explain that a little bit.
Right. Well, I think that's why people are so excited about this, both in terms of the campaign and in terms of what could happen. It's a high inflection moment, the first time they're standing right next to each other, and you haven't known what to see or what we would see on the trail. And so now, boom, they're together in the same room, and really anything could happen. Is Donald Trump going to show up as nice guy, or is he going to show up as bombastic guy? And is Secretary Clinton going to show up ready to rumble, or is she going to really just focus on the American people and what her plans are for the future? And, you know, those strategies don't work. There's no clean strategy. Right.
Yeah. Dennis, this is why I find, I don't know that I would say I see more pressure on Donald Trump, but why I see his performance tomorrow night as having a different kind of issue that he has to, a hurdle to get over. He has to appeal to all those people who have loved the bombastic, loud, shoot from the hip Donald Trump, but if he's going to win this election, he's got to reel in those who think that he's just a little too far off the hook sometimes.
Absolutely.
So he's got to somehow be both guys, doesn't he?
No, he does. I think that's right, but I think that's really up his alley. The fact that he is so unpredictable is an advantage, and I think that he is going to have many different personas, and I think he's going to appeal to those who want to see him be tough, stand up to her, challenge her authenticity, but I think he's also going to show a bit of depth that we're not expecting. If people have been saying that he's not preparing, I wouldn't believe that too much.
It's interesting, Jill, male candidates have running against women over the years have been thought to have a really difficult time of not appearing to be a bully. And yet, it doesn't feel like anybody has given that kind of deference to Hillary Clinton in this.
Yeah, that is a challenge for male candidates, but also the bigger challenge again, in science and research, I do this as part of my work and work with a lot of women running for chief executive office in states around the country, is that they have to maintain strength and warmth. And so if they're attacked and they push back, then they're not seen as warm. If they don't push back, they're not seen as strong. So while men have to be careful about not going over the line, there will be, by the very nature of the fact that it is a debate, a tussle, even if it is over issues, and women are in a box.
Well, let me take you both into the war room, and let's say we were trying to prepare both candidates against the other. I'm curious as to what you think the Achilles heels are for both of these candidates. For Donald Trump, what is the trouble spot that if you were advising Hillary Clinton, you'd say you've got to go after them?
Oh, it's temperament. People are going to watch him and say, can I see this individual dealing with opposition leaders, foreign leaders, in a manner that makes them comfortable? You're not going to challenge the president, supreme leader of North Korea in a certain way. And people want to see that he can be aggressive and forceful, but in a way that doesn't jeopardize their safety.
What would you view as his Achilles heel? Same thing?
His Achilles heel? Oh, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think with Hillary, it's that she is so darn smart and can be wonky. And a lot of debates, and most of debates, are about process coverage and unexpected moments, right? And so because she is so sort of focused on the subject, on the substance sometimes, I think those moments don't always shine through. And so that is, I think, what the...
Well, for Donald Trump, though, how do you make the most out of that being her Achilles heel, then?
I think you just sort of want to keep pounding back at her to defend why, it's the whole, there's the third term of Obama here, and trying to tip her on her heels. But I do think also he will look to try and upset her with a trick barb or two.
Dennis, Hillary's Achilles heel.
I'd agree with that in terms of attacking her and trying to see how she reacts, but more importantly, it's the likability issue. People know she's incredibly smart. That's not the issue. It's, do you trust her? Do you feel like she's actually looking out for you? Donald Trump has an ability to connect with crowds. What he says resonates, whether people agree with it or disagree with it. There is a resonance factor to his commentary.
Yeah.
And so the question is, you know, can Hillary replicate that? And I think that's where she seems to be struggling.
I think she has to articulate a yes vote, and he's going to be trying to articulate a no vote.
Yeah.
She has to work on both levels, though, because she has to call him out, too, and I think she's going to be fact-checking him a lot.
Clearly must-see TV. You will see it here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. from Hofstra University in New York, and you'll be there. Lucky you.
I will be there.
Thanks for being here. Meet the Press coming up next. We'll see you next time right back here for Flashpoint.